see, we have been working in this space for the last few years, and FICCI is a, we call ourselves change agents, policy change agents, and the topic was very close to our heart. So, when Aditya mentioned that he wanted me to speak on future of skills and what the young children need to follow, I thought that this was a good opportunity to what we had researched and what message that we wanted to pass on to the government needs to also disseminate to the children. Because at the end of the day, we are saying that the children have to become participative rather than be a passive receiver of education. And for that, it's very important that they should understand what is in store for them. And it was very, very heartening to see that of course, the group was from the elite schools, but they are very much aware. And I was not surprised because we ourselves have invited some of the students to speak in our conferences, and have been amazed that the ideas and the suggestions that were there in the report that we had done, the students were already talking about it in the panel discussion. So, the technology is driving the job scenario, and the changes that are happening sector by sector is driven by the exponential technologies that are there. So, it cannot be that our children are not equipped with that knowledge and are aware of that change. So, because the technology is so transient and changing so often, so you cannot actually train the kids in a particular domain. That's not going to, which has been the practice in the past. So, what we need to equip them is with those very fundamental critical skill sets that allows them to adopt new technologies, new theories, new principles, apply them into practice, help them to unlearn what they have learned in the past and has become redundant. So, they need to become much more flexible, and as we are globalizing and we need, the boundaries are becoming open and we need to interact with different cultures, they need to be exposed to work in teams with different mindsets, with different people with diversity and culture. And so develop tolerance. So, a lot of these skill sets were somewhere not found in the students that were coming out of our education system in the past. What we were bringing out, people were experts in very linear areas. So, if he was an engineer coming out, or a management graduate, or a physicist, only knew about that area or that domain. And because our education system does not allow them to interact, we actually promote rote learning. That means individual ingenious is actually rewarded, and therefore the entire culture of team working in teams is never promoted. And many a times you would find that a kid, a student who probably topped the engineering university, in the university, actually failed to get a job. And I have seen these cases in multinational global organizations, because did not have the presentation skills, did not know how to interact, how to present himself. So, as we say, the soft skills were missing, and that's what we need to equip our children with. So, that is where the skilling program which the government has, the Skill India mission which the government is promoting, is in an endeavor to create that bridge. So, while we are actually trying to catch the school dropout, so we have a major challenge, like our diversity is how do we actually channelize our youth who are dropping out of schools, who do not even have basic literacy and numeracy skills, to the unemployable graduates who are coming out of our university. So, it is a huge diverse population that we have to deal with, and for that we have these skilling programs. So government is coming up with several, for example, for catching the school dropouts, they have those PMKVY and those kind of missions where they are dealing with the low level, the level 3 to 4, the national skill qualification framework. According to, there are levels of skilling, so they are trying to skill them and then put them into those areas where jobs are available. So for example, beauty and wellness, tourism, which are very human intensive sectors, and where you don't need still high order skill set, whereas with for engineers or for university graduates, the government is trying to build programs with industry, in participation with industry, is trying to come up with apprenticeship program which never took off in India. And whereas in Germany and other developed country, apprenticeship actually helps the student to get hands-on experience in industry across the level, and so therefore when he actually graduates and come into the industry, he is industry ready to become productive. That system has been missing from our country. So a new policy for apprenticeship has been created. Industry is being incentivized by various, by giving by compensation of funds and so on and so forth, but still it's a huge gap, and there's a huge need for all, as I mentioned, every stakeholder to come together and work in this direction. And these are the things which will in the future help bridging those gaps. In fact, that is one of the recommendations that we have been giving, that whether it is apprenticeship or internship. See, the problem with our society is that we are very aspirational, right, and anything that gets stigmatized, so the moment you say vocational education, that's for the poor. The moment you say apprenticeship, that's for hands-on. So we as an elite society, we don't want to dirty our hands, and I mentioned about do it yourself economy and assisted economy. So we have to, this is a huge mindset change that is required in that, in that direction. So what we have been saying is that, the graduates, when they go out and do the industry internship or apprenticeship, they should be given credits, because there is a learning, and that is when they will get motivated to do meaningful jobs, and the industry will also get motivated to actually share their real time problems, which will, and there has to be a method and a mechanism, so that it adds value to the industry. Currently what is happening is, a child goes for a 2 months internship, who has the time to spend, so the kid keeps sitting in one corner or does something, does some secondary research or some work, and then the company gives him a certificate and he goes. So it has not added value to the company, it has not added value to the kids. So what we are suggesting is that there has to be, the industry academia engagement has to be more institutionalized, and faculty, student and the industry professional has to work in a cohort, so that they start tackling one single problem, and that should carry on, which should evolve into maybe a project or a research, at the end of it, which benefits the company, it benefits the student also because he is learning, and it benefits the faculty because he is also building capabilities and capacities, which in later this thing he can use it as a consulting benefit for his own and his university's benefit. Just awareness is not going to be enough. The fact that they are aware what future holds for them. The education system will not change overnight, it will take its own time. So what these kids can actually do is, as we met some of the kids who are going out of the classrooms and doing their own thing, and learning, creating their own methods and mechanisms to assess their learning abilities and capabilities, and that is what these more and more kids need to do it. And when it becomes a movement, and when the when the school realizes, or the system or the government realizes that this is what is helping the kids, automatically the change will happen. But if it is thrust down, and if the government is and see, education system is also governed by a lot of other factors. There's political will which is required, there is the will of the we don't have just government schools, there are private schools also, and all type of schools, right. So there are good private schools, there are bad private schools, there are expensive private schools, there are schools that are they charge very minimalistic fees, and therefore there is a diversity in education delivery, and therefore the kids who have the benefit of getting the elite education and having the information, they need to be mobilized by us to go and give it back to the society. I think that giving back to the society somewhere has died in our culture, because we were a poor economy moving into the developing phase. So everybody got very fixated of their own individual growth, and somewhere down the collective growth was lost, and I think that collective development sense needs to be given to the kids. To my mind, it will be emotional intelligence, definitely cognitive abilities, and design thinking. So my message to the Gen Z would be that they are the digital netizens. They are very comfortable with technology, and they know their mind. So they need to collaborate with their teachers, with their parents, and drive the change.